Very pleasant good evening and welcome to the Bucks County Curling Club, where we bring you today the 2024 Crooked Billet Bonspiel. 32 teams from around the country are joining us this weekend for a weekend of curling and fun, and we're going to start off here in the very first draw with Bucks County 3, Michelle Sheffer, against Broom for Improvement from Schenectady and Brader. That's the Brader rink with Nick Bonanno, Brendan Brader, and Ben Gifford throwing lead. I'm Dave Schmell. I'm joined here by Trevor Gall from the Triangle Curling Club. Greetings, Trevor.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for inviting me out
from
Durham, North Carolina to commentate on some of these games with you.
Absolutely. You know, we had to make sure we had our very best available talent. So when they weren't available, they ended up with us. So do you know any of these people from Schenectady? Check. Okay, there you go. Here you are. We'll figure that one out in a minute.
First draw of the spiel, working out the difficulties. You're going to get me in trouble asking that kind of question, Dave. I know a lot of people
so do I.
in
That's
curling, but
see, I didn't always meet them. I've met them in varying levels of sobriety over my life. That's the biggest issue. So I'll walk into a curling club, they'll say, "Hey, Dave." I'll be like, "Hi. Yeah.
Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, big guy. How's it going?"
It's been so long. How's the wife?
Left me a long time ago. And so it's going to be Schenectady with Hammer and Michelle Sheffer calling Jack Santora the lead here for the first rock. And we are underway.
And it's right, we are flipping for Hammer. Is that right?
Yes, flipping for Hammer.
I like games that start out aggressively, start out with a couple of guards. None of this, hit, blank the first in, get a feel for the ice. No, first draw of the spiel, center guard, corner guard. Here we go.
Yeah, let's hop right in the pool and see what we can do and make some stuff happen. So that's Ben Gifford, the lead for Schenectady. The Crooked Billet is our signature bonspiel here at Bucks County. It was the first bonspiel we ran when we started having dedicated ice here. This shot looks like it's a little bit light right out of Jack's hand. Michael Collins and Ryan Hooker are right on top of it the whole way. They're going to get it over. Now you'll hear me refer to Michael as Cocktails. That is his nickname here at the club.
So that rock, I don't think it's touching the center line, but Dave, that doesn't matter, right? We're not playing the no-tick rule.
That is indeed correct. We are not enforcing the no-tick rule for this bonspiel. And other rules for this spiel, we have 8 end games playing on a 95-minute clock, so you have 95 minutes to complete 6 ends of play. So then if you finish all 6 and are into the 7th, by the time the clock expires, you're good for 8. Otherwise, you're getting 1 more.
Really nice draw behind that corner guard by Schenectady lead. Ben Gifford.
So over on sheet A, we have 4 games going here.
Four games on sheet A, really?
Yeah, well, absolutely. We're overachievers. Well, we have the defending champions, Scott Dunham's rink, playing their first game on sheet A. And they're playing against a team from Merrimack Valley. Over on C, we have a team from Albany versus Philly Bucks in Plainfield.
Nice draw behind by
Jack. Yeah, by Ryan, yeah. By Hook Daddy himself, the sleeveless wonder.
It's a little bit open on the other side of those guards, but it looks like Schenectady is going to ignore that. Just come around and try to sit on top.
So this is Brendan Brader. And over on sheet D, we have Bucks versus Potomac and Columbus amalgamation. Bucks team skipped by Kevin Brady. This one is just a little heavy. It's going to skitter through the house.
I really think they should have given another look to the hack weight hit around those guards. That would have split the house if they keep the weight down and get the line right.
Yeah, I definitely do think that people tend to get a little bit of tunnel vision in terms of looking at one side of the sheet versus another sometimes. This one has a lot of curling to do, but it should come around. Now you see that starting to take the break very well. Now Michelle calls for this sweep. Jack and Mike are going to bring it in.
That's a really nice shot. It's going to take that draw behind the corner out of play for the most part.
Now, at what point with Hammer here do you feel like it's time to kind of push the abort button?
I think right now is the right call. At least get rid of these 2 that are in the 4-foot. Clear some room for your last shot if you have to.
So here's Brendan's second.
Nobody wants to have to bite the button for that force of 1 in the first end.
This one was a little bit wide from the start, which is going to leave it wide to the finish. Heavy and wide, an awfully tough way to go through life and curling. Can't fix a heavy and wide shot.
No amount of sweeping.
Light and tight you can fix. Heavy and wide, not so much.
All right, Michelle's just going to keep stacking them up.
Yeah, why not,
top
right?
Of the 4-foot, I love it.
I think so too. You just keep it coming.
A little bit wider than the last couple. You see if it takes that 90-degree turn once the weight comes off. Or actually it looks a little too heavy. So that one's going through the house.
Jen, we're going to ask and check and see if we can check on that. So now here we go. We're hitting control at the lead here, it looks like.
The double peel would be a really good outcome here. Putting that guard back perfectly would be a pretty tall order.
So we have Nick Bonanno here, the vice skip, with his first on the way.
Look at close.
Gonna take the top one off and then unfortunately leave a better guard for Bucks County. So two shots here, Trevor. I think either you come in up top or just lay another one in.
I really like just stacking them up. What do?
Right.
You're really putting the pressure on to make that last shot draw to the button essentially for your force.
On not your home ice.
In the first draw, the first end, I mean, that is a situation you do not want to be in as a skip.
Oh, that's definitely one that makes your butt clench a little bit.
I think my butt's clenching a little bit now just thinking about it. Got to put on the brakes.
Now, you never want to leave him something to sit on. This is going to go far enough back. And it's going to sit fourth shot. So,
Dave, a couple of heavy draws so far. I hear the ice is pretty fast here. What would you say is the speed?
Generally, we see our regular leagues running about 14.5 seconds hog to hog. And during Bonspiel times, I would anticipate tomorrow afternoon with curlers moving in the building the whole time, good airflow the whole time, that will probably get well over 15 seconds at some point.
That is blazing fast.
This is a good result for Red here. Opening it up some. As you mentioned, that draw is going to be, that guard's going to be tough to put in, but a little easier because you get to throw it across the center.
Absolutely.
Michelle Sheffer. She's been playing 9 or 10 years, depending on whether you count COVID or not.
I don't count it.
They say I don't have to count, even though I played during it. I was adopted by the Pittsburgh Curling Club for a season.
Oh, that's right.
Yep. Myself and Bird and sometimes Kevin Brady drove out there almost every Sunday and played. Attended annual meetings, full.
I'm sure they appreciated having you out there.
No, it was fun because helping them get their new facility started up and figuring out the ice and everything, and what a good recipe for scraping is for them. It was a neat adventure. So they told me that I'm a yinzer anytime I win. Otherwise, you know, I can be Bucks. This is a pretty good shot out of Michelle.
Yeah, I really like this shot right here. Just take away any notion of hitting any of the shot rocks out. Really putting the pressure on for that draw to the button like we've been talking about.
So Brian Brader looking at a tough situation right off the get-go here. And for my $2, I'm just trying to throw the draw right now.
Absolutely. I want to throw the draw twice because I don't want to throw a peel weight on my first shot of the game and then have to throw that button draw. But it looks like we are going for a hit here. Maybe a run back double, something like that. Hopefully get some of the shot rocks out of there.
I mean, in theory, you could make all three of them go.
Well, Dave, I could make all four of them go.
Oh, but you're Trevor Gal.
And I'm in the warm room, where I've never missed a shot.
That's right. But for us mere mortals, I think the draw is better. So this is coming down with control weight, so now it needs to curl. Waiting for it. Now that you're going to try to push it with that directional sweeping, we'll have more on that later. That's going to skitter across the top, and it will expose the rocks, but Michelle gets to throw the same shot again. So what's your thought on making a rocket that weight curl? I don't buy it.
I don't. I mean, no, it's not going to appreciably affect the trajectory, but it might make some difference. It might make some difference, Dave.
I think it just holds it straight, just like it always would have.
Oh, you think it'll hold it straighter?
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
I think it's going to go the way we were always taught. It makes it go straighter along the line it was already traveling.
So I didn't catch the call here. It might actually be more beneficial to come into the forefoot, having that guard up there isn't as helpful as it was in the first stone.
Well, as long as you're not deep. This is going to be a counter. Oh. Might have given them a get out of jail free. That might have been 6 inches further.
I think you're right. I think a nose hit is going to be one for red.
So a little bit unlucky there with it traveling just a little bit further than they would have liked.
I'm guessing in this first game we're going to see a lot of shots that are just a little bit heavy. Folks getting used to this fast ice.
Yeah, a lot of teams are not going to be so familiar with this. We're lucky enough to have both the facility and the ice crew to be able to make it happen. A lot of it's just because we have this high ceiling. The high ceiling makes so much easier to make fast ice because your humidity and condensation goes up. Well, your humidity goes up. Your condensation will never go up. But this does look like looks like going for like the double takeout, which would do it too, I guess. But
I mean, the broom is right there in the center of the rock.
He turned this one in. They're going to have to hold it. On it hard. Going to be on it the whole way. You get past the first guard. Now, do you hang on and stay around? You do, and you got your one.
That may have been the hard way to make it, but look, it's made. So great shot for Brian Brader as they take their one, and we'll go into the second end.
So the crooked billet was a battle during the American Revolution. It was actually a relatively inconsequential skirmish, but that did occur just south of where our club is located. The Continental Army, under the command of General William Lacey, thoroughly got their asses handed to them by the British Army. And they retreated to exactly where we are sitting.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
I always wondered where the name of the spiel came from, and now I know.
Yeah, we were sitting around the old hockey warm room and trying to figure out what the name of the spiel would be. And we said, is there anything local? And myself being local to here the whole time, knew this was a site of a Revolutionary War battle, and I went through it. And so the Crooked Billet was the name of the battle. Was named for a tavern outside of Hatboro. Hatboro being thusly named because they manufactured hats during the American Revolution. That was what they did in that town. They made hats. Therefore, it was Hatboro.
Naturally.
Yep. We have the second event. So, your B event winner or your first loser is named the General Lacey Award in honor of General Lacey. It's arguably the coolest looking trophy we have here. It's a big bronze eagle that you'll see in the trophy case. It's really, really neat. Or bronze and copper looking, whatever it is I could afford at the time. The C event is the John Fitch Award. John Fitch was the inventor of the first mechanically successful steamboat, which was tested just near here. Now, Robert Fulton did have the first commercially viable steamboat, but the first mechanically successful steamboat was designed and tested not far from here by John Fitch. And then the fourth event is called the Hartsville Cup, and that is the name of the village where we're at.
Okay. So I thought I was jumping on a plane to come up here and commentate, but really I'm getting a history lesson too. That's pretty cool.
It's a full-service operation here. What can I say? So, second end underway. We have a corner guard up for Bucks County. The first two stones are making their way into the house for Schenectady. 1-0 in their favor.
First Schenectady stone slipped into the house, but Bucks County chose to ignore it and put up their corner guard, and now they're going to go after it, try to get that double on the two red stones in the house.
The shot from Jack Santoro looks a little bit on the narrow end. Going to over curl. And just graze past everything. Taking a look over on sheet A, it was our defending champions scoring 3 in the first end against Merrimack Valley. So 3-0 in their favor. Stone on the way here from Schenectady. Looks like they're trying to throw a center guard now. And you see that curl, that stone was all the way out the edge of the 8-foot. It's going to come all the way up, crossing the center line.
And nearly slipping into the house, but it is a guard. Not really sure it's doing them a whole lot of good there. They might be able to come around. I guess with so much curl, you can come around something in the top 12. Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when we play our mixed doubles league, we generally use some of the tighter positions that are available for the preset stones. Ryan Hooker. You can see him and spot him around the club. Just look for the guy without sleeves. Unless he's skipping, that's going to be a tricky little shot if it spins back a little bit. It doesn't, but hit and rolls across the house. Might come into play later. Interesting decision time here for Schenectady. Do you chase here or do you guard?
You know, my friend Josh Newborn out of Peachtree Curling Club, also staunchly sleeveless gentleman. I'm sure there's maybe a whole team of them out there that could get together and do a sleeveless team.
Well, I will likely be playing in shorts all weekend, so. Election for the guard. Now we see here in the second end, the ice is speeding up some. So that called guard is going to come all the way to the tee line.
Being second shot is a nice situation, though. I mean, the force is on unless Bucks County can make a double at some point.
So Michelle's asking Ryan to throw the peel here. Maybe a run back.
A lot of curl right out of his hand. Sweeper's trying to keep it straight.
Probably about the worst result you could have drawn up.
It does open up that center path for that last draw if necessary. Of course, Michelle's hoping she doesn't have to throw that draw to the 4-foot.
It probably has opened up the shot on the 4-foot just enough to dig it out at about hack weight. Could probably even get with board weight. It was Joe Phillips scoring 3 over on Sheet C in their match against Albany and Jay Stein's squad. Jay is leaving nothing to doubt that he is Jay, as he's wearing a t-shirt emblazoned with a large J. You can watch each and every one of our games on individual channels here. Just go to the Bucks County Curling Club YouTube channel, select your stream. You can only hear us on this one. That might give you more reason to change, who knows?
You know, sometimes I wish my name was a letter, don't you? Just me? All right.
Yeah, it was never me, sorry. I guess if our names were just letters, then we'd have to fight aliens. And I do look good in a black suit, though.
Yeah, I've seen those pictures on your Facebook.
Yeah. I did curl in tuxedo for our in-house feel. I came straight from a gig and just went right out in the ice.
I think my pants ripped just thinking about that.
Well, I did put on curling-friendly pants. They were black, so it kept it the whole look. But oh yeah, the pants would not have had a chance. They're on this right out of the Cocktail's hands.
Maybe some run back action here.
Going for it, gonna run it right on by, but opens it up, and so now there's a lot more real estate to work with. Bucks lying third right now. First and second shot for Schenectady, throwing the red stones. It is Bucks with hammer.
Bucks still a lot of work to do for a deuce here. They might want to bring that corner guard into play if they don't want to go for the double on the Reds. Shot 1 and 2.
Now, if it's somewhat possible that we have somebody who doesn't really watch curling watching us, why don't you explain why it's such an advantage to have that last stone? Or what's it called again?
Last stone of the end is called the hammer. And it means you get the final say in how the end ends up. So you can hit a rock out of play and leave your own there, or you can come in for an extra point. It's therefore we always want to get at least 2 points when we have hammer, because whenever you score the following end, you do not have hammer. So you want to take advantage of that advantage. You want to take advantage of the advantage and get your 2 points or more while you've got that hammer.
And contrary to some people's popular belief, those rings in the ice aren't worth any different point values.
That's right. We're only interested in the rock that is closest to the center, closest to that little dot in the center of the button. That's the scoring.
Little redirect double
stone.
attempt. Oh, sorry, Trevor, to cut you off, but almost got it there. Good outcome, though.
Feel free to cut me off for a great shot like that was. It was a very, very thin double attempt, so, you know, it's not surprising they didn't get that first rock out of play, but
even to get them both moving is a feat.
Absolutely. So back to the scoring. Like I said, the rock closest to the center of the button is going to be the scoring rock and the scoring team, and then that team can score 1 additional point for each rock they have closer to the middle than the closest opponent's stone.
So it kind of scores like bocce a little bit, but the little white ball is always right in the middle.
That's right. So as we're looking at it now, red is sitting just the 1, even though they have 2 rocks in the house, because the red is closest to the middle. The second closest is a blue, so it's only 1 red as of now. Of course, anything can happen between now and the end of the end.
So now we have our skip throwing the last 2 stones. This is the first of 2 for Brian Brader of Schenectady, and they called for a center guard here trying to protect that shot rock. All right, they're trying to hold the line now. The line and the distance both look pretty good there.
Really nice guard. It takes out all opportunities to throw a hit at the shot rock. So Bucks County's only option right now is to throw a run back. In other words, they're going to try to hit the rock that was just thrown back into the other red and knock them both out of play.
That sounds tough.
Not an easy shot, Dave. But the good news is if they do happen to make it, then they will be sitting two. And since they have hammer, that's what they want.
So you see there the vice skip, Michael Collins. He has his broom out. He's setting a target for Michelle to throw at. And they want to hit it just about on the nose of the rock. So they're anticipating it curling approximately 18 inches. And Michelle's very comfortable throwing about a control weight, so I think that's probably what she's going to throw here. And the ice kind of jives for that.
This needs to curl.
Need to at least peel the top one off. Oh. That's going to skitter past everything. Not the best outcome for sure.
So the thing that's interesting about curling is the more weight you throw, in other words, the faster you throw a rock, the less it's going to curl. So in that case, I think the rock was just a little too fast for as much ice as they were calling, and it ran too straight. It didn't have enough time to curl over to the face, to the nose of that red rock. And because of that simple fact, all strategy in curling arises. That's what allows for guards and draw behinds and everything else.
And we're going to have this all weekend, folks. Every draw will be streamed for you. We'll have a lot of commentary. Can't guarantee commentary in all the games. We do have to play some games in this thing too.
Wait, we're playing?
Oh, I didn't tell you you're doing that.
Dave.
Yeah.
I'm here to commentate.
That's true. So that means if you had to play, if I want you to play, I'd have to fly you like United instead of Frontier.
Absolutely. Doesn't have to be first class. Just, premium economy.
Okay, fair enough. That's a nice shot in the house there, but I think you might be able to make them go. Just catch the corner of it, or just throw a heavy draw down, which I think Michelle's going to be a lot more comfortable doing.
I tell you, if I'm throwing this shot, I'm throwing a good, firm, normal up. The outside half of the rock that was just thrown. I think both of them go, but it's not an easy shot. However you decide to throw this, it's not going to be easy.
I don't think Michelle is of the mind that she does not want to go down 3 right off the get-go here. So she's going to throw the heavy draw and try to move the one, at the very least only give up 1. Still trying to get her team's still trying to find its feet, it seems. So a lot of times if you see a shot made, it makes everything better.
Sweeper's on this pretty aggressively. We'll see if they can get it past the guard and down into the forefoot.
It's past the guard now. Is the line right? It's got to curl a little bit. Did they brush the curl right on out of it? Oh, they might have. Oh.
Sure did, Dave, and that's going to be a tough steal of 2 for Schenectady. Really well thrown shot, I thought. I think maybe just brushed a little bit too much.
Yeah, I think Ryan and Jack just laid into that a little bit too much, and sweeping does definitely make the stone go further along the path it was traveling, and will make it go straighter and further, and it did both.
Sure did. Good news is it's early in the game and there's still plenty of time to come back. Only down 3. Not an uncommon score if you have hammer to tie this game back up. So let's see how things play out in the third end.
And the teams for our next draw are starting to wander their way into the house. Third end action underway, and the center guard goes up for Schenectady. It's going to over curl just a little bit, end up on the forefoot. Over on sheet D, it was Potomac scoring 2, then stealing a further 3 against Team Brady from Bucks. So 5-0 is their advantage right now. They're playing the third end. Merrimack Valley got a single point in the second, so it is Bucks up by 2 by a score of 3-1 with hammer in the third end to play there. And back here on our feature game, Jack Santoro trying to tuck one underneath that guard that was just thrown by Schenectady. It finds itself just behind the tee line. Second rock now for Ben Gifford. With it behind the tee line, great time to just curl right on down on top of it and sit there. Weight was pretty good here. It just over curled a touch, so it does leave Bucks a sitting shot here. So Michelle is asking for one to be just a few feet higher. This one's past the guard. Let's get her a little deeper than they would like. Does make a nice little pocket for Schenectady to get to. So calling about the same ice that they had initially. And they're going to try to find that pocket and nestle it right into that little catcher that they have there. And it's going to ease on right there. It might as well have had Rawlings written on it.
Could not have thrown that shot better. I think it's even shot rock now.
So now Michelle's going to pull on her mixed doubles curling roots here and get into the draw fest and load up the forefoot. Expect some jiggling and jostling later on in the end.
This is my least favorite kind of end, where it's all of these draws really close, everything behind the tee line. I always feel like I never come out on top when this situation is going on in the house. I'm always giving up 3, and it's like, what happened? And everybody's just drawing on top, and then things jiggle around, and oh no, I gave up 3.
So you have a problem properly jiggling around and ending up on top.
That's right.
Okay.
I just said that.
Now, it is suboptimal to play behind the tee line because as a very snarky curling skip from Delaware County once told me, once their stones are behind the tee line, they never get closer. Very rarely.
There is always an exception to the rule that, yes, you're right.
And Nancy, if you're watching, hello.
It's like, you ever been bowling and you know one of the pins ends up in front of the
sweep floor?
Yeah, that thingy. How does that happen? Physics. Could happen in curling too, but it's pretty rare.
And then Steve has to get it. Every mechanic at every bowling alley ever is named Steve.
Steve. Yep, you're right. Check it out.
At the bowling alley right down the street, mechanic is Steve. At McDade Bowl down by the airport, it's Steve. It's always Steve. And they almost always come with the in a blue mechanic's shirt with Steve emblazoned on it. So it's possible that that's all that Brunswick issues.
That makes a lot of sense. I think they get the volume discount on those patches.
Yep.
So we see red shot here, at least I believe red is shot, and surrounded by 3 blue rocks. Now normally in a situation like this, it's a little scary just because you have 1 rock that's out counting 3 of theirs, right? Like, so what happens if something happens to your red rock, right? Then they're sitting 3 or even more.
But you're implying that you're not scared, Trevor. Why?
I'm not scared because just look at it. It's so well nestled. What's going to happen to that red rock? Nothing. It's got the catchers in the back. It's got the guard in the front that's going to direct all the force into the catchers. So, I mean, it's going to require multiple well-placed stones to do anything to that red rock. And in the meantime, red can just put another rock down there.
I think, well, they're not going to get over in front of it. They're trying to guard the path into the draw into the pile, whereas the shot, which I think is going to come next, is to take the first shot at jostling that and releasing the rocks. Or just a straight peel.
Once again, I think we may be left in a situation where team with hammer will have to throw a nice draw to the button to score their 1.
And that's suboptimal.
It is suboptimal. No skip ever wants to be in that situation.
Speaking of relatively optimal situations, Scott Dunham scored 3 in the third end. So now they're up 6-1. That's pretty close to optimal.
So when I was in my instructional league years and years ago, one thing they told us was that if you score 3 every time you have hammer, and you keep the other team to only scoring 1 every time they have hammer, then you're going to win the game every single time.
That's a wise teacher you had. Did Murray teach you that?
That was Keith Scott, actually.
Oh, okay. Another wise person. And we cracked the double digits. The good news is that it's your first incentive on your contract. Now I'm going to turn the electricity on in your room.
That's good news. I need electricity. When do I get to let the cat in?
That's a penalty. You kidding me? That's a penalty clause.
Stop that. We're professionals.
All right, so now I think that Michelle is going to try to squeak past the guard and hit the pile for the first time. And even if that's not her intent with the broom she has, it's a real possibility. But Mike threw it nice and tight. And that's going to peel that guard away. So the dance floor is exposed.
Well, like I said, it's going to take at least 2 rocks to make anything happen to that red. So once again, I am not worried for Schenectady.
Not even causing the least bit of pause.
We already discussed that clause. And just to point out the obvious, the reason Dave had me fly down, or fly up, I guess, from Raleigh to be his co-commentator, so I don't have any bias whatsoever for any Bucks teams or anything else. So you can be sure that my commentary is going to be dry with no added enthusiasm for teams involved.
Yes, usually our local teams are afraid if I calling their game because I'm going to possibly let loose an embarrassing story about them.
I'm all here for the embarrassing stories.
Okay, good. So, do you know how Michael got his nickname Cocktails?
I just always assumed it was related to cocktails.
The fact that his last name is Collins? No. It's not that.
Okay. Honestly, I never knew that because I only knew him as
Cocktails.
Comrade Cocktails.
Comrade Cocktails, yes. Let's see what Michelle's got dialed up here. Talking over with Ryan Hooker. How do you feel about having to explain the shot to your second when you're on the clock?
When I'm on the clock, I hate explaining shots because that timer moves way faster than you think it does.
It looks like Ryan may have interjected and thrown a challenge flag there. But after that's put to bed, Michelle wastes no time.
It's got a little bit of curling to do. Here we go. Here we go.
It's going to get there. It's going to start to move it around now. Oh, wow.
Really nice outcome there. It just kind of scooted right onto the button behind the
just
guard.
kind of did a little billiard there. I definitely didn't see that coming. Cocktails with a good call.
Now, once again, I don't think Schenectady has much to worry about here. They can come in with a nice freeze on top of that blue. They still have that red sitting there in the edge of the 4 foot as the second shot.
I don't know if I agree with you, Trevor. I think that if you didn't throw a rock right now, Michelle could score 3.
You got to throw the rock, yeah, but you have the rock. Why would you throw it?
So where do you put it right now if you're them? If you're red?
Personally, I would just draw on top of the shot rock. Just freeze it right there. Pro miss is being a little bit light.
I think it's about the tee line.
Sweeping hard to get around the guard.
That's going to have to hurry to get past, and indeed it will not. It's going to wreck. So now if you take a look here, I think if you come down with a good board weight, you hit that about half the stone there, half to even 3/4, you're going to kick that red out through the 4-foot. Your blue jams up against the catcher, and your shooter hangs around, and you score 3.
Absolutely, that shot is there for 3.
All that's missing is a telestrator. And anybody who wants to fund that could send their donations to Bucks County Curling Club. That's 1185 York Road, Ring 2, Warminster, PA 18974.
Looks like Michelle is opting for a draw for 2, which is a fair alternative. Probably an easier shot than going for 3. Getting 2 here is kind of a must, being down 3 after the first 2 ends.
I will say it's decidedly less fun.
True that.
But Michelle's here for business. Had the pleasure of curling with Michelle on many occasions. They're on this right out of her hand.
Once again, working hard to get it around that center guard. Can they make it?
Gotta go, and no, they do not
Very
get it there.
close.
It looks like the weight was pretty good based on how it kept on going, but it's going to be a single point. Score 1 for Bucks County, 3-1 after 3 ends of play. Taking a look around the ice shed, Potomac continues enlarging the wound against Team Brady. They now hold an 8-0 advantage after 3 ends. And it's been Joe Phillips and his squad applying a steady diet of paper cuts to Jay Stein and Albany. They are now up 5-0 after 2 consecutive steals of 1. And over on sheet A, Scott Dunham has a plethora of Blue Rocks in the scoring zone at this time. And he is adding to that phalanx at this time. Center guard goes up for Michelle Sheffer here. And Schenectady is going to come right on into the 4-foot. Hello, Schenectady. Hello, Mr. War. Happy to have you on the stream.
Oh, is that Dion? Hi, Dion.
It is Dion, yes.
What's going on?
That one a little bit faster right now. We have Schenectady well represented. Pat Howard watching as well. You guys should make it down here sometime. I don't think I've seen either of you here. So Michelle asking Jack Santoro to throw a second guard here now. These guards being free guards won't be able to be removed until after the 5th rock of the end.
So kind of curling 101 here. We often talk about offense and defense, and almost counterintuitively, guards are actually considered very offensive because you want guards in play if you're trying to score points. On the other hand, if you're throwing a lot of hits, taking other stones out of play, that's a defensive strategy.
So Dion and his Dave Schmel commentating with Trevor Gal from Triangle Curling Club. There it is. Now we got our guards set up. I think Michelle's going to jump into the pool here and try to get into the 4-foot. I recently filled in my pool. Too much work. All right. Ice is really getting up to speed now.
I'm going to pull out the stopwatch on my phone and actually try to get a time next time a draw is called.
Oh, that's a pistol over on sheet A to score one, or only give up one. So that one comes just to the top 12 foot, and now we're going to get that draw coming way out here.
Now the times can be a little different when you have a draw that goes out to the edge of the sheet or another path that hasn't been played too much. I'm going to try to get the time anyway, even if it wrecks on this rock in the top 12. And of course, right as I need to stop it, somebody walks in front of a stone, but I got about 15.3 seconds.
And that probably would have been just short of the 12. So I say that's running pretty quick.
Yeah, generally 1 second equals about 6 feet. So 15.3, take off a second, 14.3 to get to the button, and that's about your speed. I'm going to take a few more measurements throughout the game and let you know what I come up with.
Ryan Hooker getting to throw the draw here, the sleeveless wonder himself. Rushers think it's there. Now they're being reminded by Ryan that it is indeed out wide and starting to dig in just a little bit because we haven't had too many stones all the way out there yet.
A little bit of a Christmas tree here. Not leaving much of the shot rock exposed, at least not enough to hit and roll under all the guard situation. But Brian's going for a hit anyway.
I guess that's a scoreboard call here. This does look like it's going to be all over one of the guards. Let's see what happens. Going to wreck off their own and raise the Bucks County rock a little bit closer in. I think we'll see a guard called for by Michelle next here. Indeed, that's what she's going to ask Cocktails to do. So the story behind Cocktails goes back to the Dykes at Potomac in 2018.
Oh, I was there.
Yes, you were. And we often encourage all of our under 5 curlers to play in all the under 5 Bonspiels. And I definitely encourage that because, it's a great way to meet your curling friends. That's how we met. And,
That's right.
And how many of the people watching in the stream met their curling counterparts. So Mike was a little hesitant to go right off the bat. So I said, no, you got to come. It's a lot of fun. We go, we drink till all hours. The police come. No, that's when we lost Cocktails, Mahoney. We lost him. Utica. Oh, Utica, that was completely different. That's when he decided to just walk back to the hotel. Anyway, we promised Michael all these fun things at a Bonspiel. Thank you for clearing my memory. As I explain the story more, it might make sense there. So anyway, we're at the Utica Curling Club, rather.
Oh, I was at that one.
Hey, you were at that one. And we told them that there's going to be all this fun. We drink out to all hours. The police come. There may be people of ill repute there. People may be doing things that they might not want to advertise. And it's all in all a great time.
That's how somebody convinced me to go to my first Bonspiel.
Correct. So at the time, my team was still in the A event at this point, and we had been runners-up the year before, and I had put on my serious Dave hat. And we had an early morning draw, and we had went to bed, and I'm there with Ian Sheffer. We were rooming together.
Ian Sheffer related to the Michelle Sheffer?
In fact, yes, they
Bucks
are.
County?
They are husband and wife, indeed. Somewhere straight out of the blue, the room phone rings, and it's Michael on the phone saying, "Hey, Dave, it's Mike. Cocktails?" I'm like, No. We're turned in. We're got an early game. Turned in? What do you mean? This is a Bonspiel. He said there was going to be all this stuff and the police were going to come. Okay. Then he called Ian on his cell phone. And it says,
Wait, not his room phone, but his
cell phone.
Oh.
And Ian goes, "Hello? Hey, it's Mike. Cocktails?" And Ian gives him the same thing. Now we're turned in for the night. Turned in? You lied to me. I said that the police would come. There'd be people of ill repute. We're cleaning this up because it's early in the night. And thus Cocktails was born. And later on that weekend, in the middle of the Bonspiel, he just vanished, and we said, "Where's Cocktails?" And he didn't answer his phone. We tried to call his room, didn't answer. Well, I already said the room phone, Chris. We did that too. He did them both. He called everything. We called the room phone. We tried to call his cell phone, the whole deal. He didn't answer for hours and hours, and it's gotten time for a game. And we're like, "Where's Cocktails? Where's Cocktails?" We thought we lost Cocktails in Utica. he decided just to walk back to the hotel in Utica in winter when it was about 8 degrees.
This must have been a long time ago because I don't think hotels have room phones anymore.
Yep. We said, hey, Mike, didn't you? We were trying to call you. He's like, yeah, I saw you called. We thought you were dead in a ditch. Not the best communicator is Michael Collins. So, given that information, Trevor, do you want to guess his profession?
Ooh. I didn't think this would be coming up. I don't know. Bartender would be way too easy. Comrade Cocktails.
Not a bartender. Oddly enough, his cousin was.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Attorney.
Attorney, okay. That doesn't surprise me. So, for the fourth end in a row, we're in a situation where there's a chance that the team with hammer will have to use their hammer shot to draw for one to the forfeit.
So right now, neither team is operating at very good hammer efficiency.
That's right. They're all at 0. Is that how hammer efficiency is?
Yeah.
How many
times you score
hammer
two.
ends you score 2 or more, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to try to weasel one in here. Didn't look like they're taking a lot of ice at all.
A lot of rotation on that rock, and maybe that's part of the strategy here to get it to run a little bit straighter, but it is a little light, so it's going to get all of that curl before hitting the house.
You know, I think everybody watched that now famous Nicodine shot.
That's right, yes.
And said, I could do that. You know what? Turns out we can't.
Yeah, I think Mallet tried a shot like that in the last Players' Championship.
Did it work?
It did not work.
No.
That's why you didn't see it on Facebook.
Ah. You know, that Adine guy is really good.
He's all right.
Yeah. He should look into taking up this sport on a more constant basis. I think they said it was 52 rotations on that rock.
Oh, did somebody actually count?
Yeah.
I didn't think I could possibly count that high, so
Yeah.
I didn't even try. That's impressive. I guarantee you, anybody listening to this stream, if you just go to your curling club and you try to throw a shot, a draw that stops, somewhere in the house or hack weight or something like that, get 52 rotations on the stone, I guarantee you will not be able to get that many. That is so many rotations, it's silly.
So, Michelle looks like she might be throwing a guard here to try to guard the way in.
I think this is absolutely the right call. They're sitting 2, and it's going to be a struggle for Schenectady to get a single point here if this guard is put in a great spot. And it looks like it's coming to rest in a really good spot. Plug this hole. Now what do you do? Now what do you do if you're Schenectady?
Well, I think you just tip your cap and move on. But I think the correct call is to try to curl all the way around the outside and come down to 1.
Now, Dave, I think
Because all I have to do is get the full 8.
I think the clockwise rotation, or the in-turn for a right-handed player, throwing a draw to the edge of the forefoot, I think it's there through the port.
It might be. Actually, I think those guards are just high enough that it will over curl by the time it gets to the forefoot.
You only need a piece of the forefoot. Half a rock in the forefoot will take it. I think that's what I would throw, but I like that kind of stuff. I don't do these safe shots. It's probably why I'll lose more games than I should.
You know, I've seen you win every now once again too. So
sometimes the fun shots work.
They do. So trying to get the safe shot here, they're going to need to get a good piece of that 8-foot white circle. They're going to end up being in the white ice, but the wrong part of the white ice. So I think they had to be a little bit more specific with the call. It'll be a steal 2 for Bucks, and it's all tied up. So my conclusion is we just wasted 70 minutes. We could have jumped right to here.
We could have, because look, hammer efficiency is still at 0, which is what they were at the beginning of the game.
Mm-hmm. So it worked last time. Center guard called for Jack Santoro. So it's fun news here. This spiel is under new management this year, Trevor. We have a new Bondsfield committee running it. Greg Danks and Kevin Stayer, Kristen Weiss, and Jane Stayer have retired from the spiel running business.
Okay.
And passed the torch on to Vinny and Rachel Bursey and Bill and Sue Niedrek.
You know, that's great. I really think it's important for clubs to get, you know, a little bit of rotation and who runs their spiels, keep things fresh, and also just don't burn out the same people who do it year in and year out. So, you know, as long as there's a good team, transition team to help them kind of learn the ropes and allow them the creative freedom to add their own flair to the spiel, I think that's awesome.
Yep, our theme right now is very picnic oriented. We have red and white tablecloths, reminiscent of early 90s Pizza Huts. All the beer is flowing freely, as it always does here. Include it in your spiel entry fee. Nice take out there from Jack Santoro. Now Ben here is wearing a Shrimp and Grits t-shirt. That's not something I would generally associate with Schenectady, New York.
Agreed. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
So, for our Schenectady people, what is the Schenectady food item that is uniquely yours? Inquiring minds want to know. That one was a little bit light. It's going to curl up and end up in the one position, a secondary corner guard. And you heard the call there from Michelle, so draw in top 4, top 8. A low light's okay. So choosing to utilize those guards. Now, normally if you didn't have hammer, you want those guards to be in the middle. But with them there being two set up, there's no reason not to just take advantage of them yourself at this point.
Speaking of shrimp and grits, that is actually a specialty we have in North Carolina or anywhere in the South, really. There's a restaurant nearby the Triangle Curling Club called True Flavors. If you ever come to our spiel, you can go to that restaurant for brunch or breakfast, and if you're lucky, they'll have shrimp and grits on the menu. And I highly recommend it. I think it's half butter and half grits and half shrimp. It's incredible.
That sounds like half butter, not enough. Now, Julia Child always said, oh, the more butter, the better. You can make anything taste better with butter. Marcy, greetings and salutations. Happy to see you on the stream. That draw is a beautiful weight. It does come in to be shot stone. Leave some opportunity for Michelle, though.
It is about half open.
So asking for hack weight, tapping her foot with the broom there to denote that.
I also heard her say hack weight.
That one's got a curl, at least down to Hatboro.
It's trying. I get a piece of it here. Will it be enough?
And there you go. Got to get it clear now.
Enough to push it to fourth shot, so I'd say that's a win.
So apparently, Trevor, Dion says that nothing really comes to mind for Schenectady for food. They have a nice little Italy section with some restaurants and bakery, but no specific food that they would want to hang their hat on, so to speak. Whereas I took you right to my neighborhood cheesesteak joint.
I'm thinking about the times I've been in Schenectady, and most of my meals in Schenectady have been at Schenectady Curling Club.
Which speaks to their hospitality. Great
really,
job by them.
None of them have been bad. So I'd say Schenectady food is whatever they're serving at the Curling Club.
The one time I was at Schenectady, I remember somebody making bacon that tasted like it was covered with crack.
Yeah. That sounds delicious.
Yes. And this is when crack was good crack, before it had fentanyl in it.
We all miss those days.
We do. So looking to throw another one in, or possibly a high guard here. Definitely looking to guard the draw, looks like.
Yeah, this end is shaping up really nicely for Bucks County, for the blue team. Really the ball's in their court to force another end here and keep their lead.
I was correct. Kevin's cracked bacon.
Very nice. Not keep their lead, but I'm getting a little confused by the scoreboard, which is not hung up for the fourth end yet. I believe it was 2 points for blue. It's all tied up right now.
It is all tied up indeed.
Schenectady with hammer.
Well, Cocktails is waiting to do that because he's used to billing by the hour. The bacon apparently is glazed with maple syrup and crack. But speaking of which, Brian and Nick are trying to come up with their Narcan rescue shot of the game right now. Indicating that they want to hit the stone on the right first.
Yeah, just be careful not to go right through the port, which I think there is a port there.
Oh, there surely is. I know I could find it.
Often when the stones are about this far apart, if you hit them both, you can just kind of slip backwards a little bit and end up shot rock.
It's going to get the top one only. Take out one in the back on the way by. So it's still Bucks County sitting 1, 2, and 3. Fourth and fifth shot belong to Schenectady.
While that's true, you know, there could be ideas of a split to sit two.
Yes, that's why I'm not exactly in love with Michelle's call of a guard here. I think I'd rather just take out that red rock that I see. Because it's going to leave your shooter in a happy place, almost be just as good. And God forbid you're heavy here, you raise them in and do the work for them.
That's right.
This does look to be a bit heavy. Now can you thread the needle? Now we're hoping to let it die. Oh! And as that was almost prophetic.
Commentator's curse.
Yep.
Yeah, now I think the bonus is on Schenectady here to get their two. They can guard their shot rock here, prevent the short little run back. Because nothing is really occupying the 8 foot, much less the 4 foot of the button. So there's a lot of opportunity to draw around for a deuce if you have to. A few more rocks to play though. There's 3 reds to 2 blues remaining in this end.
It is worth noting that the time clock is down to 14 minutes and we still have a good number of stones to deliver in this fifth end. So highly unlikely that we'll be looking at an 8-end game here.
Now, did you explain how the time clock works?
No, I did not. Why don't you?
So I believe, and Dave can correct me if I'm wrong, the timer started out at 95 minutes, and you have those 95 minutes to complete 6 ends. Because if the timer runs out, you're allowed to finish the current end and then play one more.
That is correct. And we are playing under the understanding that the end is considered completed when the final and the next end has begun when the final rock has been delivered of the previous one.
Right, so being delivered means past the T line of the delivering end.
That's correct.
Okay, that's the same way we do things at Triangle.
Now the technical by the book rule is when all rocks from the previous end have come to rest.
Well, that's not delivered.
I know. That's why we specifically, it's a little easier to adjudicate the delivery of the rock as opposed to all the stones coming to rest.
There's a little bit of wiggle room there. I mean, if you say the last rock is hogged, when does it actually come to rest? Because normally, you know, a lot of times those are kicked before they stop. And, you know.
Well, there you go. So this is a little bit of an easier thing to do here.
Well done by Michelle on that Short run back to sit 3, or is that 4? I think it's 4 blue.
Yeah, what a shot there for sure. And it came on down. It was brushed well by Jack and Ryan. Just made that perfect contact. And really nice, just the right weight. That was only board weight there. The stone's having a lot of life and able to keep them moving. We purchased these stones were purchased about 7 years ago.
And are these K's rocks or Canada curling stone?
Canada curling stone. They are Treffer exteriors with blue hone inserts, as is the most common setup now. Now
really difficult shot being attempted here. It looks really good. They got to sweep it, keep it on that line. Can they get both blues out? Not quite.
Oh,
that was an extraordinarily difficult shot. It was almost made.
Okay, so here you go. You have Bucks County sitting 2. One more stone for Michelle to throw. Now a couple different options here. You can guard this little run, because that tap is geared up to score a single point pretty much all day and twice on Sunday. Alternatively, you could hit it with some weight and take out the one rock and make the tap more difficult. Or draw around and run another one in there. What do you like?
I gotta say I like the draw. Put the pressure on. You've already got 2 counters, so you're not really worried about the deuce.
It looks like they elected for the guard. Or did they? See if we can hear them. Trying to get that perfect guard lined up there. Good call by Michael Collins there to manage the line. Ryan Hooker was getting a little sweeper-ish there with the weight.
It's a really nice guard nonetheless.
Michael was there to say, down Hooker, down. And it was handshakes and a victory for Scott Dunham on sheet A, so they will continue on in their title defense attempt. It's also a win for Potomac on sheet D over Bucks County. And after Albany scored a single point in the 4th end on sheet C, Joe must have angered Joe Phillips because he came back and hung 4. So he has a 9-1 lead. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen, you know what, I have seen Joe Phillips angry once.
And Brian is off with his hammer shot, trying to get a good chunk of the 8-foot to score 1 with a little bit of backing. Sweepers are on it. They're trying to keep it.
They got to go. Can you drag it there, boys? Can you drag it there? You got to go. You got to go. You got to drag it all the way to score, and it's going to be just a little bit light. Steal of 2 for Bucks County. That makes it 5-3 after 5.
Makes it the 3rd steal of 2 of this game. Still have not seen a hammer deuce.
See some folks chatting away about the brand new Curly Club in Las Vegas. We'd like to welcome them to the curling community. Very excited to see them. Center guard is up for Bucks. Schenectady's going to have some work to do here. Trailing by 2. The time clock's indicating there's only going to be 2 ends left to play here for sure. Only 6 minutes and 25 seconds. It would require a Herculean effort, and we'd like to welcome Curl Vegas not only to the community, but also to the Grand National Curling Club. Welcome to the GNCC Las Vegas. I'll be out there at some point. I got a rock out there. I got to go visit it.
Last time I was out there was for the Continental Cup in 2019. And Las Vegas Curling Club was on site helping run the event. Good bunch of folks. Curl Vegas, I think, is their official name.
So this is only going to be a 7-end game. They have no chance of meeting the clock.
Shot by Jack Santoro. So I got to keep asking Dave if my mic is on.
Yeah, it's on. So the Curl Vegas is located just to the east of the Las Vegas International Airport. Just behind runway 27 right. So it is stone undercover right there. So right now, if you're Bucks, Trevor, what's your plan to get through this?
Well, by now I know that I'm only playing one more end after this, so I really want to force if I'm Bucks, right? I want to score. I want to hold the other team to 1 point, and that way I have Hammer being up by 1 in the last end. There's a pretty high percentage of winning that game in that case.
Sorry, it's runway 26 right. I was off by 1 there. My apologies. Here, Ryan Hooker doing a lot of line calling on his shots.
Now, is that his job, Dave?
Generally, it's not.
Interesting. They have a different strategy on this Bucks team.
Or at least he does.
What are y'all teaching up here?
Oh, boy. Before you know, we're going to hear some curmudgeon say, if a skip can't draw the 4 foot, he's got no business skipping.
Never said that before.
Nice peel out there. Don't know if it had to be quite that heavy, but it was. Now, what do you think the angles for the double here?
It's a pretty thin double. Certainly there. I don't know if you need to go for the double. You know, I really like the hit and roll. Just kind of sit in the middle there. You, like I said, you're more than happy for red to score 1 point in this end.
What concerns me right now, if I'm sitting here looking at it, is that red rock that's right in front of my blue in the 4-foot. Because sitting here watching it in real life, I could see a lot of that red stone exposed.
Absolutely.
And that just looks like a big old eject button lined up on my one and only counter. And that scares me.
That is scary. I mean, when I'm in that situation, I usually like to have another rock in play. A hit and roll off that rock instead of the roll away would have been really nice. A little wide on the takeout.
Now we're going to see if Vinny passed his first test of the Bonspiel. And remember to turn off the automatic horn on the hockey clock.
We'll find out in about 15 seconds.
Two, one. And there's the first miss of the weekend. Send in your guesses as to how many times that will happen this weekend. The winning guest will get a prize of unspeakable value. So trying to draw a second one in there to as if they heard your suggestion there, Trevor.
Don't want to be too deep here. A little bounce off this top blue is okay.
That's what she's saying.
Very nice.
Now it's going to take their time and take a look at this here.
You know, and maybe unintentionally or maybe intentionally, that blue and they bounced off, changed the angle a little bit with the red that's in the 8-foot. So now that combo is going to roll off the shot rock red, no longer usable most likely.
But could you ever catch the inside of that rock coming at it straight on and make the double that way now? I think that's the call.
I don't know about that. It's a tough shot. Yeah, it's probably there.
Well, you heard that stone might have been gone. So that's crack of the apple number 1 gone. There's going to be 3 more left. That's why he gets 2 stones. That's very insightful there. Now we're down to 1 game on the ice. We can hear a lot of their thoughts a little bit more clearly.
Center guard looking nice.
Okay, now time for a second crack at the bacon. Or bacon at the crack, or cracked bacon.
We'll see if they throw some maple syrup on it. I believe the call here is just a straight peel.
All right, so I'm going to try to peel that off and open things up. That is also a skosh wide. That's even more than a skosh. I think that's a full-fledged bit. They're having a good bit of fun with there.
I never learned my English to Scottish measurement conversions.
Yeah, well, a bit is more than a skosh.
Okay. Do you know the conversion rate?
Well, then I'd have to bring in metric and imperial. That's the whole.
Okay, we don't want to get into all that. This is a family-friendly stream.
No, we don't need to go into those type of tons. In fairness, we do not have the made for kids box checked. Now this is interesting. It looks like that Michelle is going to pull the trigger on that hit herself. Very aggressive. It could really seal this. Look at that.
Oh, beautiful shot by Michelle. Just by that guard. Hitting out the shot rock, and now they're sitting 2 behind cover for the most part. I said their goal is to force, but hey, if you can steal 2, yeah, that's better. And why not?
So, looking at this, I see a couple different possibilities. One is this one, which I don't know how much I like right now. It's ejecting some of these stones here and trying this run back. What I would favor is I think you can skitter in a draw through that port with the way it curls and come down with like back 4, back 8 weight and set shot that way. This is coming with parking lot C weight. Off the 1, ricochet, and did nothing good if you're red, except to open up the front a little bit.
It did peel the guard they were trying to peel, so I don't know. I would call that shot made. It was well executed. But Michelle has a pretty easy job of putting the guard back. And it's made easy because they already have that mostly center guard, so they just have to get the rock within about a 6-inch margin of error, and then that guard will be perfect.
If we only always had a 6-inch margin of error.
That's what I'm saying.
So, Michael Collins holding the broom. Michelle Sheffer with her final stone of end number 6. They want to curl a little bit. Here it comes now.
Weight looks nice. Port is closing up. I think the port is fully closed.
I'm going to put that into the category of nice.
Yep.
I think the only shot left is the gentle little gentle tap, just squeeze past the long guard. I don't think they say it though.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you, Dave.
They are not look up. Okay, now it looks like their second just suggested it. See if we can hear their chatter. Well, based on that, I can tell you the chiller is still running. No matter what, it's a tough shot for Brian here. Really looking at handshakes if he can't score here, most likely.
Well, just for the sake of an argument or a discussion, do you think the triple is there? The super thin off the top 12 blue. Just barely redirect your shot rock into the shot 2 stones and sit 2 after you get rid of all the blues. I'm thinking it's not there. There's not enough space by that guard.
Well, the triple's always there.
Well, true. Triple's always there. But is it there now?
Probably not. This is a huge ask. I think he's just trying to grab a piece of the button to only give up 1 now.
I don't think the shot is there to actually score.
This is going to have to be swept. I think that's a case where he tried to be a little bit too fine with it to try to get to the spot where he wanted. He just never put any handle on the rock. And took off right out of his hand.
That'll be a score of 3 for Bucks County. And handshakes go up. Bucks County with the win over Schenectady. Final score 8-3, Bucks County.
And
Michelle Sheffer's team.
Yep, and they will continue on here. Our next draw will be coming up shortly. Stay tuned with more action. We'll be bringing it to you all weekend. So right now for Trevor Gal, I'm Dave Schmel. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good evening.
Thanks, y'all.